like, I don't even know where to start other than saying, my heart's broken, and as is the heart of, like, millions of people seeing what's going on there, particularly in Chimney Rock. And, man, Megan, I don't, like, how are you doing, first of all, like, you personally?
I mean, it took a lot to process that when we figured that all out, when we found out. I was actually in the town over that day. We tried to get out. I mean, there was literally just trees everywhere. So we got over to the next town and got like a little bit of service. We still don't have service over in Lake Lure area, but one of my flooring lady called, and she was like, Megan, I'm so sorry. And I was like, what? I like just got communication with, like, she was my first. And she's like, oh my God, you don't know. I was like, don't know what? She's like, your restaurant is gone. And I assumed it was like maybe just kind of like fell down or something. So then we got news that it was totally gone. But it took a couple of days to process. It's obviously devastating. And I don't know if it's still surreal.
Yeah.
We can't even get near it. I think I need to see the spot. I see pictures, when we get Wi-Fi a little bit, but I don't know. It's unbelievable. It's everything that I've worked so hard for is gone in an instance.
Mm. So
it's unbelievable.
So Chimney Rock, is north of Lake Lure. Is that right?
So it is actually pretty much straight west of Lake Lure.
Okay.
They're very like joining towns. It's almost like this small little community.
And,
but once you hit the Lake Lure beach is when you then connect into Chimney Rock, and that was the village.
Okay, gotcha. What's the river that feeds Lake Lure?
The Broad River.
Okay, so the Broad River. So that's the river that just basically took out all of Chimney Rock.
It went over our building, and we're still about, I want to say, 20 feet above the water.
The building was 20 feet above the water?
Yeah, our deck, the lowest point of the deck was probably about 12 feet, and then the highest point was probably 20 to 25 feet, and the water went over it.
Over the building. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where is your team's all safe? And that was the first thing when I texted you the other day, just to check, like, is everybody, so your team's okay? Everybody's accounted for?
Yeah,
okay.
They are.
Does everybody have a place to stay?
Yeah, actually, majority of them live in Forest City, which is about 45 minutes. I want to say 98% of our employees drove 45 minutes to an hour to get to our work.
Okay.
So they're in Forest City, and they've had electric since like the day after the storm. They're all safe and doing well.
Tell me about the restaurant.
Well, we opened almost 3 years ago. Our anniversary is December 10th. We opened in Lake Lure at a location that we were renting, and then we ended up moving to Chimney Rock a year ago in October to own that property on the river. But we used to only be brunch and dinner, and then down in Chimney Rock, since it's very touristy, we opened up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, all day service. Over here, so I'm originally from Michigan, a lot of cities around us. And then I went down to Florida for about 7 years. So we had tons of seafood. I was right on the ocean living down there. When we came up to Chimney Rock area, it was almost like you went back in time with food. You had your family style restaurants, fish camps. So when we came in, looking at our menu, we brought something totally different to the area. Things that we're used to in the city, but people weren't used to in the countryside.
Yeah.
So Lake Lure's second homeowners, a lot of people coming in and out. So very transient through the town. But we got so much support because we were doing something different for the area. I've had 13 years of bartending experience. So I brought in handcraft cocktails, everything, all original recipes. So That was us. We just did everything original, did a twist on our cocktails, did twists on our food items. If we had a pastrami sandwich, we did something different with it. Just try to, I don't know. We did everything fun.
Mm. And so how long have you been up here from? When did you move up to the area? Did you say?
We moved in 21.
In 20. Why'd y'all come up this way?
It was during COVID, and before that, we kind of talked about moving to the mountains a little bit. And then COVID hit, and we said, well, nothing's really holding us back right now. So we, my husband at the time, my ex-husband now, but he's a chef, and he was just applying everywhere, and he ended up getting an executive chef position in Chimney Rock and at the Esmeralda Inn. So that got us to this location. And then after a year of working there, we decided to open up the Highlands.
Gotcha. Okay. And then y'all had so the building you were in, y'all bought that building?
Yeah. So in Lake Lure, our previous location for the Highlands Kitchen Bar, we were renting that, but then I moved solo to Chimney Rock to own that building.
Okay, gotcha. So you weren't even there when this was all going down. You were in another town?
The adjoining town where I live, Lake Lure. We're about 15 minutes from the restaurant.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we knew the storm was coming. So with the night before, we closed an hour early. It wasn't that bad yet, and we woke up the next morning to it happening.
What did y'all think? Like, based on what you were hearing and everything, worst case scenario, what did y'all think?
Oh, no one was prepared. No one talked about the threats of the flood taking the town. No one talked about it even flooding our restaurants. There was nothing. There's no one I talked to. Being in the community, there's no one that thought this was going to happen. It took everyone by surprise, and I think this is why it's so devastating to everyone, because no one expected this. Our Lake Lure has a dam. It was getting compromised. Yeah. People were getting evacuated eventually because they thought the dam was going to break, and if the dam broke, that was going to cause so much more damage. The dam was overflowing with water, and that's what kind of like backed up all the water in Chimney Rock, because all the water comes downstream into Lake Lure, and then it goes through the dam that then flows out down into Rutherfordton and Forest City. But yeah, this wasn't it. We didn't know that. We had no idea. No one had any idea.
Yeah, I mean, the first things I heard was there might be a real big problem up in Lake Lure with the dam giving, and which would have been all the downstream problems, but y'all are upstream from that, so the water just backed up. And
it backed up. It couldn't go anywhere. The dam was so stuck with water, and it was overflowing, but then it couldn't get through the dam because there's so much, and that's what caused Chimney Rock to just be destroyed.
Holy. How many businesses were there?
Oh, gosh. So our side had, let me count real quick. Right next to us was our favorite neighbor, the Chimney Rock Brewery. And then going further, the whole town's destroyed, but let's see, Chimney Rock, 1, 2. I want to say on the side of the river probably had about 20 businesses. And then on the other side of the river was maybe about 10 to 12. They all got flooded, but their foundation is still there.
On the other side. Okay. Got it.
On the other side.
Oh, golly. So I'll ask some like dumb questions. So how does insurance handle something like this, or do you even know yet?
So when we moved to that spot, my insurance lady, I asked her if we needed flood insurance. She said no. And this was all my regulars too. She's a regular. I have longtime regulars that I met back in the Esmeralda in 21. They come almost every single morning for breakfast. And I said, what do you guys think about the flooding here? They said, since the dam has been established and built, there is no way that we can get a flood because the dam will open up more, allow water to go through, and nothing will happen. So I didn't even get flood insurance. No, there's all the businesses down there. There's only a few that had flood insurance. The dam was supposed to protect us, but the dam was so compromised that there's nothing that could help anything.
Is there? I'm so naive to insurance stuff. So again, I'll ask them like, is there like a natural disaster rider or anything in these policies? Or
from what I've been hearing, because it was a natural disaster, that insurance may have to cover us. But everything that I was researching earlier, it says you have to either have natural disaster insurance part of your policy or catastrophic, which I did not have because no one thinks this is ever going to happen. So yeah, basically that restaurant in the building is done, and I'm waiting to see what the insurance claim says, but my insurance lady thinks that it's going to be denied, that we don't get anything from it. So our equipment, our tables, just the building itself is gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you have a mortgage on the building?
No, I wasn't. So yeah, we don't even know what's going to happen. Luckily, so we were leasing to own. So this is super tricky for us right now. We're very close to we've had a major down payment, so we hadn't hardly anything left to give the previous owner. So we're kind of in this limbo right now of who has to take the fault for this and pay off the remainder of the mortgage.
Oh, this is going to, what a mess. Golly.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons. Okay. Well, what, like, I'm down here in Charlotte, right? So, and we're hearing a lot of stories about, people don't really know what to do. Everybody, of course, wants to get in their car and drive up there and help, but they say don't. So we're hearing a lot of stories about, I've heard, a lot of local restaurants are sending food, and there's food being sent up. Like, what do y'all need? So there you are on the ground. You're in the middle of this. Like, what's most important to everybody there right now that y'all need?
Luckily for us, we're on the other side of Chimney Rock, and everyone did get evacuated from Chimney Rock. And for the most part, we all can travel. But for us, for anyone there is generators, because we can drive to the next town and finally the gas is here.
Okay.
We were able to fill up 3 tanks yesterday. That was the first time that we were able to. But people just not having power, and they're saying from where my location is, electric could be another week, and then inward could be up to 3 months of no electric. And so everyone's bringing supplies in, and there's stations everywhere for water, and that's great because we're on a boil notice, and a lot of people, we have a well, so we have to boil our water that comes out with our generators, and even the city's water we have to boil just because the ground, we don't know, it's all contaminated. But it's definitely that people without electric with the generators, that's like the biggest thing is generators.
All right, I got a generator. I got a generator I'll bring up there. More than happy to do it. If you know somebody that needs one, like, consider it done.
Oh, yeah.
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 For sure.
I definitely do.
Okay. I'll follow up with you about that and get some info and figure out my schedule the next day or so and figure out a way to get it up there. I get, so you're on the side. Okay. So I could drive up there. There's no road closures or anything like
once
that.
you get through Forest City, you can go through Rutherfordton, and then that gets to 6474.
Okay.
And that will drive you into Lake Lure.
Okay.
And we are off Bills Creek. If you were to map it, it's 1326 Bills Creek, and the road is clear now. Once you hit halfway through Rutherfordton, then the electric is still out from there, and we have no self-service, but.
Okay. And I saw pictures of Lake Lure. So basically everything's just sitting in Lake Lure right now, it looked like.
Oh, that's all our restaurants.
And it's just there because it's backed up by the dam. And so, oh, God.
Oh, the flowering bridge That's literally all of Chimney Rock just sitting there. I'm like my whole building is probably sitting on the Flowering Bridge.
Oh God.
They may allow us to go down there, the business owners, tomorrow, because they're trying to clear the way through there. And if I do get pictures down there, I'll definitely send them to where our spot was.
I mean, it sounds like, I guess it was just a big miss, like nobody really understood what might happen, huh? I mean, it's amazing to me that all of y'all were just completely unaware.
Yeah, we were in the unknown, and out here, we have internet, we have Wi-Fi, but it is very remote, and not a lot of people watch TV, because a lot of people also don't have that type of service out here. We do just rely on our internet companies to watch, Netflix and things like that. So I don't even know if it was spoken about on regular news. It's just no one talked about it. Everyone said, yes, be careful of the river. It's going to be roaring, but it wasn't, your town is going to be gone.
Be wiped off the earth. Right.
Yeah. And the road that connects us to Asheville is completely gone, and they don't even know if they will be able to rebuild that.
Really? How far? I've been to Lake Lure and I've been to Asheville. How far is Lake Lure from Asheville?
So from Chimney Rock to Asheville takes, right into Asheville will be about 30 minutes.
Okay.
But then further in will be about 45 minutes.
I got you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But there's a main road, 6474, that gets you there. And that road is non-existent in Chimney Rock. Basically, the road cuts off at where the Highlands used to be. And there's just no road to nowhere. It's just river.
Good grief. Okay. So they may let you go over there tomorrow. That means the water has subsided to the point that you may, everything's not underwater at this point?
No, the dam's opened up, so it's allowed all the water to kind of escape down into wherever it's going now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's state folks there. Is FEMA there? Are there people there from the...
Yeah, FEMA came in.
Okay.
They're here, and we had National Guard here. They were airlifting people out of Chimney Rock and Bat Cave, which is on the other side of Chimney Rock. Small little village that has 100 people population. They were all stuck because there's no roads. Tons of landslides. So yeah, it was bad over there. But from what they think, they pretty much have everyone out now, airlifted. There was helicopters over, because we're right next to the Bills Creek Fire Department, and there's a helicopter pad. There was probably a helicopter landing every 30 minutes for 2 days straight.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Okay, good. Were these? Yeah. This was whose helicopters was it?
So we saw one of the ones that constant was the U.S. Army. So it was National Guard.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
What else should we convey? I mean, I'm going to put this, out on our podcast and communicate this to as many people as possible. I'll probably put this up on my LinkedIn profile. I know people need generators. Well, that's something that people that are nearby can bring. What about people that are, we have people listening all over the country. Are there
supporting their whole town of Chimney Rock has GoFundMes.
Okay.
And at least the restaurants and businesses that will be able to rebuild because they still have their real estate. It's great to support them in their accounts. For us, it's, we're never going to rebuild down there. And it's really unfortunate that even insurance can't help me with anything. But, I have a GoFundMe out there, and that just, it helps. Obviously the restaurant business is hard, and you have expense after expense. You have plates and silverware, and, silverware getting thrown out all the time. Ramekins being thrown out, glasses being broken, and those are constantly coming out. And now to see that probably the $200,000 that was sitting inside of that restaurant, not even speaking of the building itself, is gone. It's like, if anyone can imagine just like having $200,000 in your hand and throwing that away, it's so heartbreaking because it's your blood, sweat, and tears. You know, that's my livelihood. I have 4 children, and, you know, I've worked so hard, and it's just gone. And then to think about that, where that $200,000 could have went to, you know, supply my kids with things or their college funds. Like, you know, it's just a lot of things to think about.
It's
just gone.
It's more to think about than you, like you said, you've probably been able to process yet. I mean, the reason I wanted to talk to you is I think it's easier to understand like a story than the enormity of the situation, right? I mean, because there's just, it's overwhelming. You see what's going on in Asheville and Boone, and then there's people in these valleys all up in the mountains that are probably, you know, that their home and everything they have is gone. And just like, how do you even process that? So, well, okay. So you have a GoFundMe, like what's your GoFundMe? How do we find that?
Yeah. So it is, our GoFundMe. Let me go right now. I gotta get the dashes right. It is on our Facebook page, and it is on our Instagram.
What's your Facebook page?
Our Facebook is the Highlands Kitchen and Bar, and that's in Chimney Rock.
The Highlands Kitchen and Bar in Chimney Rock on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. And
and then our GoFundMe. See, I get like no internet. I'll be able to text that to you.
That's fine.
I know there's a lot of my sister actually set up the GoFundMe account because we have no Wi-Fi or internet service.
Golly.
She's in Texas, so I was like, she's like, I'm setting this up for you. She's like, when you get Wi-Fi, just know you have it. So
that's fine. I mean,
helpful.
But you've got the link on your Facebook and your Instagram.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. The link is on my Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. Okay, and you've got 4 kids. How old are your kids?
So my little girl is almost 8 months, and then my daughter, she is 6. My son is 7, and then my stepson, he is 16. Wow,
look at you! That's awesome. Well, I'm glad they're safe. I'm glad you're safe. The overwhelming aspect of this has just got to be hard to it's hard to fathom. You know, the great thing is people, when there's a tragedy like this, and I know you know this, I mean, people are going to step up and help in ways you could never imagine, and who knows where this all goes. But between GoFundMe and the greatest thing about the restaurant community and the world of hospitality, which you're so aware of with all your experience in it, is boy, do they step up and help others when they need it. And so I know a lot of people will hear this and find ways to help. And so your side of the street, if I heard you correctly, like y'all won't even be able to rebuild?
No. Our real estate is probably 5 feet now inward into the river.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's gone. The river has made its new home, actually. There's no rebuilding.
Oh, the river was diverted from. Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was so pleased the other day to get a text back from you. First of all, because I didn't even know if you had if y'all had, what the deal was. A lot of people didn't have it for a few days and all this stuff, and I was just glad to know you're okay and your team's okay, and glad your kids are okay. I'll let you go.
All right,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you bet. Thank you. Have a good one. Take care. God bless. I'll be in touch.